want to make sure that what I am good at in this world can be used for somebody's stress relief.
I think country music has always reflected the views and the desires of working Americans.
For the last 20 years, I've been inventing instruments, close to 100 instruments, some of which work a lot better than others.
My mother would play Schubert's Lieder for me when I was running around the garden to quiet me down. But she played in a very soft volume, so I would say, please turn up the volume for me. I couldn't hear Schubert singing. And she just said, well, honey, you just need to be very quiet and sit down, and you can listen and hear Schubert singing. So that was a very beautiful moment of me spending with my parents and my siblings in hot summer nights in Taiwan. So when I was taking care of her when she was ill, I played the same Schubert's Lieder for her for the next 3 weeks we were in the hospital together. And that was the idea, using Schubert's song as a gift between strangers instead of between people we know. When Sonnet Blossom is on, the singer would be wearing a costume which is made by these 2 pieces of obi. So the singer walks very stately and slowly through the gallery to make his or her encounter. When she selected the person, she might say, may I give you a gift of song? And then invite this person back to the chair, turn around and just sing one of the 5 Schubert Lied that she chooses. Before the show opens, I will come back for 2 or 3 days to work with the selected singers for this project. And although I'm the originator of the idea, but I don't have the talent to carry it out. So you're all the demigods who help me to, to bring gift from Schubert to this world. It's really quite amazing. I mean, in a way, Schubert is collaborating with us.
This idea that we are this living, breathing piece of art,
exactly.
Artwork. Like literally, so it's a new mentality for me.
Yes, yeah. Most of the people thought that you're mic'd or it's lip syncing or something. No, you're not. You're just doing it live, and it's an incredible gift for most of us, really. It is my task to help them get ready for this work because it's unusual. So I would say to them, the first time you do Sonnet Blossom, it's the most difficult. It gets easier and easier, so do not give up. And you will see how you yourself becomes a part of the work. So the tension lies between the singer and the receiver.
Please come. Thank you. I was just invited to hear the song by this beautiful opera singer.
Und den Zweiten des Süßlichen
intention in the way she looked at me and then my responses to her, but what she had coming, you could see by her face, what she was going to bring to the table, and it was gorgeous. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me to share that with you.
Originally, I thought the singer is giving a gift to the receiver. However, very quickly I realized the gift is returning back to the singer at that very moment when she or he sang the song.
Keep on growing. Oh, yeah. For the ones don't know what it's like now, she won't more. Don't stop, don't tear this shit
up. My name is Matt Vorsmer, otherwise known as E-Cushionist, a hybrid live drum jockey. I went to school for music at the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music. Well, jazz is like the foundation for me. It's also such a rich American music cultural heritage. It was one of my first musical loves. My dad put me onto jazz when I was a young man, and it's just taught me so much about life. I had really fantastic mentors growing up, and they mean a lot to me, and they taught me a lot. Pretty much everything I know about being a professional. Guess what I'm known for in New York City, and then the rest of the world found out, was these pop-up parties that I was doing in the subway. Pop-up party is a judgment-free place where people can get together under one roof and just rock together, you know? Generally, how I play at the pop-up parties is just a reflection of my music taste. It's open format, whatever I feel like needs to move the people. So I try and be prepared. Different BPMs require different feelings. I like to play, you know, tropical feels, feel-good house, Jersey club, future vibes, throwback classic, everything in between. Music therapy is kind of something that I do at my pop-up parties, but I don't consider myself a music therapist outside of somebody who he himself is trying to seek therapy for, you know, his struggles and his stresses. I find myself in the same place with everybody else. I just want to connect. I just want to make sure that what it is that I am good at in this world can be used for somebody's stress relief. And in that sense, there's musical therapy that goes on. But what I will say for somebody who's trying to achieve their dream is find your people, you know?
This class has changed me. I can say it changed my life.
The original Earth Harp, in a way, was almost an environmental piece. First time I created it, I set it up on one side of a canyon, put the chambers, and ran the strings to the other side. The idea was, let's turn the earth into an instrument. Oh, the Earth Harp's gonna travel with here. I've strung it to the top of skyscrapers, Grand Theater in Shanghai. I think it's really emotional for people. I mean, it's a string sound, but it's also just encompassing. People love it. It's almost like having a string section at your fingertips. It's very symphonic sounding, but there are more high-end harmonics in it, I find. So it's different than a violin or a cello. It's got a unique quality to it. The last 20 years I've been inventing instruments and have invented close to 100 instruments, some of which work a lot better than others. The reason it's sort of the first of its kind is because the technology had to exist in order to make strings that are literally hundreds of feet long. This uses what's called a longitudinal vibration, or a compression wave is another version of it. Basically, if you can imagine a slinky, a very long one, and you were to push that slinky out and then pull it back, you'd see a wave that would go through the slinky. And that's what's happening with these strings. I'm activating the molecules of the material. It's different from a pluck string or a bowed string. It's kind of like running your finger on the edge of a wine glass. Here in the studio, the strings are going from the bridge behind me, and they're traveling out and opening in the architecture and up to the side of a mountain. The rain has actually helped it. It oxidizes the strings slightly, and that mellows the tone. And so it actually makes it a little richer sounding. And these strings have been in place. Some of them have been in place now for 7 years.
Art is the most powerful thing that I know of to combat the negative effects of life in one of these penitentiaries.
If I didn't have a way to have an outlet, I would feel tense and bitter and clogged up. Here with this program, I'm at ease, I'm relaxed, I'm of value to this planet. You know, I'm able to give more than what I've been taking.
It opens your mind, opens your heart, and I think this class should be mandatory for everyone to take. And it changes everything, changes the way you think. I've been a lot happier. This class has changed me. I can say it changed my life.
Not only the tragedies that one had in life, but also the accomplishments. For me, they have to be expressed through music.
In the 1970s, I served a prison term. And while I was in prison, it became clear to me that music was crucial in not only surviving, but in learning how to thrive.
It builds your soul up big time.
When I'm inside this class and I'm contributing with my fellow inmates, I feel free, to be honest with you. And I find it very intriguing how we're able to come together. You know, a lot of us don't know each other, we don't hang around, but when we come in this class, it just feels like we're a unit, we're a team.
There's guys that I wouldn't even talk to on the yard, but I come in here and we make incredible music, and you build relationships.
We can talk about anybody and anything, but we cannot use racist humor or sexist humor. We have to treat each other with dignity and respect.
Working with different people, different races, and different backgrounds, it's amazing. It changes you, it changes your thought process.
People would probably think that the diversity would separate. And unfortunately, in the prison system here in California, it does do that. We're intended to be separate. You have your different cultures and stuff, or different cliques. However, when we all come in here, it's the diversity turns into unity.
It just works. For some reason, we come in here and we'll argue for about an hour about a song, and then it seems like at the last moment we just pull together, and it comes out pretty good. It's just camaraderie.
All prison politics stay out on the yard, and in our workshop it's a safe space, and the men appreciate that. They have a chance to be human beings, to be just regular guys. And guys that love doing music together.
That's the click for me. That's what I get down with.
My mother-in-law is an incredible, like, world-class Persian cook. So when she comes to visit us, she comes in always with a cooler full of food that she's made for us.
There's a southern accent where I come from. The young ones call it country. The old Yankees call it dumb. There you go, dude. That's good. Yeah.
Howdy doos ye, my name is Corey Baum, and I am the songwriter, singer, and frontman for the band Croy and the Boys.
Okay, cool. That's good. All right, love y'all.
I love you.
Bye, Johnny.
Say bye, Papa.
The music that I'm making right now, I'm just trying to talk about what I think are some of the most pressing issues for working people in America today.
So that's downtown Austin, Texas in front of us, which has gone through a lot of changes since I've been living on the east side. Almost unrecognizable. But so this is what I'm talking about, like the Arnold, whatever the hell this is. Who knows, like yuppies sitting on a patio. It's insane. And it goes all the way down. Basically, it's like, this was all low buildings and now it's like condos up and down the street on all sides. This is Hotel Vegas right here. You see the sign blinking. Okay, we're gonna do kind of a thinking song now, so put your little thinking caps on. But this song has some big words in it. It was hard for me to even fit them in a damn country song, so I just spelled them out instead. So we're gonna spell out the words gentrification, cultural elitism, hegemony, and coded racism. 1, 2, 3.
Even when I'm dealing with serious concepts, I try to have some humor about it, and it's danceable. So I want people to enjoy themselves while they listen to it, and I want to restore dignity to working people. I think that a lot of people work really hard and then don't have a lot to show for it, and they've kind of been made to feel that that's their fault. And I try to draw stories and show examples of ways in which it's not their fault, that they're being taken advantage of, and that they deserve what they think they deserve, which is just a healthy, kind of middle-class American life.
Used to be you didn't need a lot to enjoy life. Just load up the family into the car and head out to see the sights. But second jobs and part-time gigs means no vacation days. Can't get enough hours for benefits or to qualify for a raise. Oh, it seems like you can't just be poor anymore.
You know, I come from the Midwest originally, and I come from a working class background, and I am recently retired to become a stay-at-home dad. My wife just went back to work, and I love it so far. I think it's really great. I'm really enjoying spending all this time with my son. I'm also actually finding that I already have more time to write now, because when he goes down for a nap, I can pick up the guitar and work on that. So I was worried about how I was going to balance the two, and I'm already finding that there's a really great balance there. So yeah, it's really nice.
Mom and Dad are here taking care of Johnny. It's one of my first nights out since I had the baby. Tonight I'm here to see Corey and the boys play.
I'm going to send this song out to my wife, but I just want to go home with you. And now I'll sing it every night to my wife.
Being married to Corey, of Corey and the Boys, Bad Boy Corey, is incredible. I love what he writes about. Since the first night we met, we bonded over music, and so it's like been a big part of both of our lives before we met, and it continues to be a big part of our lives. So I love being married to a musician.
My wife is an Iranian American. She's a first-generation American. Her parents moved to America in the early to mid-70s, and then she was born here. I didn't know much about Persian culture or Iranian people before we got together, and it has been an absolute pleasure getting to experience the wealth of Persian culture.
Look at him, he's laughing all the time.
My mother-in-law is an incredible, like, world-class Persian cook. So when she comes to visit us, she comes in always with a cooler full of food that she's made for us.
I brought rice and green beans and meat.
It's the best. Yeah, I'm really lucky.
Lubia polo. Green beans rice. You've had it before.
Best cook in America and Iran, probably. It's been a cool experience becoming a father, because I think my goals and aspirations as a musician and as an artist have never really centered that much around money. There's never been a time limit on it. It's like, yeah, hopefully someday this works out. And so then basically the moment that my son was born, that all became a lot more like, oh, this has to become a sustainable thing for me, or it has to become just a hobby that I really like fairly soon. You know, if we work on this more, it should be more like not just me leading it with you playing piano, but like you lead them sometimes. We got nominated for Best Country Band in Austin this year, so it's like local. I feel like I had an idea of like what to do locally, and I feel like I've accomplished those things. But I don't know how to like take it.
We need to get discovered.
So I just had a kids, make it or break it right now. It's got to happen this year. I'm out the game. I think country music has always reflected the views and the desires of working Americans. You know, we go into country dance halls around Texas, and we go into working class places, and people respond to what we're saying. I don't think I'm doing anything new with country music by expressing more leftist ideas. I'm just doing something that hasn't been done in a while in country music. Okay, let's do Your Friends Not Mine real quick. This is a more class conscious one. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $900,000 home with a bigger one in mind. That's your friends, not mine. 4-car garage with 4 new cars, and I bet you can guess what kind. BMW, that's your friends, not mine. Your friends, not mine. Well, my friends all drive things that were built before they were born. Some of them rent out closets, and some of them sleep on floors.